Right, I'm pretty excited about this one. G'day everybody and welcome back. I'm going to do something with the rear suspension today. I was originally going to do this on the lift, but I'm pretty sure that it might actually be better off working on the ground. It's a little bit cramped in here, but we'll see how we go. I'm going to strip away a few things on the bike and then I'll get back to you and I'll talk to you through what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Right, so what the hell's going on? What am I doing? I've pulled apart, I've removed the back wheel, the hugger, the panels on this side, and the foot peg, the rider's right-hand side foot peg, just to get access to this shock absorber. So what am I doing and why am I doing it? I need to preface this by saying that there is absolutely nothing wrong with this shock absorber. In fact, given the fact that it's got an aftermarket spring in there, I'd say somebody's given it a bit of love at some stage. But I do have a couple of issues with it. It is fully adjustable. So it's a Showa, fully adjustable shock absorber. We've got rebound and compression damping, as well as preload adjustment. But that's where the trouble is. This preload is an absolute pain in the arse to adjust. You can't get the spanner in there. When you do, you can only maybe turn it half of the way that it needs to go to engage. I have managed to be able to tighten it down when I wanted to take my daughter for a ride with me. I didn't do it when I went on the sausage tour and I had all the luggage on board. So it's a pain in the neck, and I need to improve that. The other thing is that when you put more preload on the spring, you often need to adjust the rebound damping as well, which is down here, right down here near the swing arm. And normally this foot peg's in the way, and it just is not as easy as it should be, and you need a screwdriver to do it. Now, I'm no suspension expert. I've said that 1,000 times. Now, if you subscribe, if you follow this channel and you subscribe, and if you don't, why haven't you? You would know that we rebuilt the front forks. They're a bit of a mystery pack. I'm not sure what bike they're off or what components are in them. However, they do have adjustable damping on them and adjustable preload. So the bike handles really nicely. I don't really have an issue with it. It feels really compliant, and it feels planted. That wasn't the case when I first bought it. I have to be honest. It was a bit of a, I remember thinking, what the hell have I bought here? And it was all around that front end. Now that that's sorted, I'm a pretty happy camper. So I'd like to improve things around the back end here. I'd like to make it easier to adjust and, you know, still have that genuine Ducati look and feel about it. So I bought this. This is an Olin's shock absorber that came out of an ST4S. Same one that was fitted into the ST3S. it's in bloody good nick. It was second hand, but I bought the entire assembly, as you can see, with pivot and control link and everything else. And the beauty of having this one is the adjustability. So we have remote preload adjustment, and we still have our compression and rebound damping here, and the rebound damping is done using finger clicks rather than a screwdriver. We also have the added advantage of having adjustable tracking for the bike. We can raise and lower the ride height of the bike, which therefore impacts the bike's handling, because you're effectively changing the rake and trail of the front of the bike. I've read through the manual, and this shock is now set up, configured for the factory out of the box setting. So it's 14 clicks out from fully closed on both of the compression and rebound damping screws. It's the preload on these are a 170mm spring. The preload on them is 20.5mm, so they measure 149.5, I think it is, in length at the factory setting, and it gives you about another 10mm of spring preload that you can put on it, so when you load the bike up. And then it's very easy just to click the damping on the rebound to compensate for any extra boing that might be on the return. Looking forward to putting this in. So I'm going to now remove that old shock and see if we can fit this one. God, I hope we can. I'm hoping that the configuration is very similar. The difference, of course, with the ST3S and the ST4S is that the ST4 and 3, the ST3 and 4S have an aluminium swing arm. This has a steel swing arm, and I'm hoping that there's no major headaches that are going to come with it. But we've got all of the fasteners for this one, plus all of the fasteners for that one. So hopefully between the two of them, we can make it work. Let's see how we go. Okay, there is a bolt in here. You're going to need a 100mm long socket, in-hex socket. This one, unfortunately, is just a ball drive. It's the only one I've got. Probably would have preferred to have a straight hex. It's obviously well Loctited. I might just put my paddock stand underneath the back of this. I haven't lifted it at all, I've just sat it under there to support the weight if it does. Because it's going to drop, the swing arm will drop. Alright, now there's a special nut on the back there. Just let that sit there if it's happy to do that. Try and withdraw this. There's also some spacers in there, I think, on the rose joint end. There it goes. She's dropped. They're happy to sit there too. Not the easiest thing in the world to get out, but it's out. Right. Now, of course, we want to remove the top mount, and this could be a bit of a nuisance because the nut that's on the other side, of this this top bolt is in a really awkward spot to get to. So I might have to just try and trap a spanner on it and undo it with a socket head cap screw. Try and undo the socket head cap screw with an in-hex socket from this side. Oh well, that was successful enough. That's what's holding it in. Let's come around the other side again. Should be able to just get this thing out of here, I presume. Now I have had to disconnect the hose for the off the crankcase breather. Oh, I see. That might be a nuisance. So it won't lift over that part of the frame there. So I'll either have to, I think I'll just get a socket on the other side and just completely remove that arm. Alright, I've looked at all this and I think it's going to fit, which is good news. It all appears to be the same. So I've removed the rod at the front. Hopefully I can get to it to torque it up on the other side when we're done here. So let's offer it up and have a look. Now this canister, I have to move this camera because I'm going to have to poke that canister through. Alright. It's got to go through there. Hose. There we go on there. Might be a bit funny with some angles. Right, let's put a bit of grease on un bolt. And slip him in. Now, before I get too carried away, I'll just pop the nut on the other side of that bolt and I will see if I can get the adjustable rod in place. Wasn't too bad. Right, I can do just there for now, in case I have to remove it. Alright, might torque that bad boy up before I go and do anything else, I think. 43 Newton meters. Right, that's 43 Newton meters. Now, the other one, 75 Newton meters. Try and get this spanner on that nut. There we go. Oh, 75 Newton meters. Alright, bottom bolt. Grease him up. But I'm going to have to lift the swing arm up. I think I'll put the jack under the back of it. This one also is 43. Newton meters. That's that. All right, shock is in. Okay, so now let's mount the canister and the preload adjuster. Might mount it first actually. Right, to mount that, we need the right size in the hex socket. Remove this particular bolt from the foot peg, and we're going to need a longer one with a, it'll drop a Loctite. Right, these get done up to 24, 22, 23, 24 Newton meters. Obs. Just like that. Now, this dude, which thankfully came with its mounting bracket, that hooks into a hole in the frame, and that slides over that bolt, that longer bolt that we just put in. Like so. And we place a nut on the retaining nut on the back. Done up tight. And there's our new remote preload adjuster. Squash that spring. Alright, now, canister. Thankfully this thing also came with its mounting bracket. It sits there, something like that. I just found a couple of M5 socket heads, that should do the trick. They're meant to be 9 Newton meters, but that's good enough for the girls I go out with. Okay, so we have it mounted at the bottom, mounted at the top. The remote canister and the remote preload adjustment is mounted. So that's pretty well it, except for putting the bike back together, I guess. Let's just check this out. I'm just going to see what happens when we wind this up. So currently sitting about 149.5 millimeters, as I said earlier. Let's wind him all the other way. Right, that's hard the other way. Yeah, so it gives you about 6 millimeters, by the looks of it, of preload adjustment, which should be heaps when you're talking about putting on a passenger or some luggage, or a passenger and some luggage. And whatever it is, be a damn sight better than what I had, which is essentially no adjustability because you just couldn't bloody move it. I'm going to throw the bike back together now. Alright, so there you go. We've replaced the old shower shock with an Öhlins. Now, again, there was nothing wrong with this shock absorber. It worked fine, worked perfectly. It'll go on the shelf, I'll bag it up. So why do it? Well, because reasons. I just wanted to have something that was a little bit more user-friendly, I guess, for me. So it's a personal choice. It adds to the value of the bike. I got it cheap because it was second-hand off a wrecked bike. In fact, it was sitting on eBay for quite a while. I was surprised that nobody grabbed it because the price wasn't terrible, but it was in the United States. And by the time I could have got it here, paid GST, freight and all the rest of it, it just wasn't worth my while. But then they dropped the price, only a little bit, but they dropped the price, and that triggered me to think they want to move this stuff on. So even though there was no make an offer button on eBay, I sent them a message and I made them an offer that would put it back into the realms of affordability for me, or justify the cost to me. So I lowered the price and managed to get it with freight and GST for slightly less than what they even had it advertised as with the revised price. So that was really good. They jumped on it. They said, yep, give us your money, and off we go. With hindsight, I'm thinking I probably should have asked them if they had the swing arm as well. Doesn't matter. We've got it, a steel swing arm, so be it. It has moderately more unsprung mass now than it would have with the aluminium swing arm. However, I'm sure that it's going to be a fantastic upgrade. I would love to take it for a ride, but not today. It's piss and rain. Actually, it's just eased off now. It was pouring down before. One thing I did notice, the back tyre is now actually rubbing on the ground on the centre stand with the chain adjusted at the correct length. So it's obviously a little bit longer in that link. I measured it. It's the factory set point, and it looks to me like it's almost all the way in. But I might just try and sneak a little bit more out of that turnbuckle. Not today. I'll see how we go. Wish it wasn't raining because I'm really keen to go for a ride on it and just get a feel for it. But no, I think I'll be pretty stoked with that. So we'll wrap it up here. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. It really does help. And I will catch you next time on Andy's Motorcycle Obsessions. Bye for now.